those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and in today's video, we've got a Kawasaki Ninja 650 that has a Power Commander 5 on it, and we will be dyno tuning this thing through the Power Commander. Now, this is a local customer, and I have ordered a plug-in to actually flash the ECU next week. So we're gonna have I guess I would say a follow-up to this video or an update where we're gonna be coming back in and flashing the ECU, opening up the restrictions on this bike and seeing how much more we can get out of it. But the customer already had the Power Commander, so we're gonna go ahead and tune the fuel system with it. So this bike has a Delkovich slip-on exhaust system, still has the factory headers, but we do not have a catalytic converter. So it is basically a straight pipe, super, super loud. This thing has got a lot of rumble to it. So anyways, we're gonna be dyno tuning it with the Power Commander 5, seeing what we can get out of it. We're about to do the baseline pull right now. All right guys, here we go, baseline pull on the Ninja 650. So we just made a few pulls with the Ninja 650, got to tune in the Power Commander. This thing was incredibly lean from the factory after he changed the exhaust. I'm talking about not getting nowhere near enough fuel. Literally in some spots had to add 20-30%. You can see I showed you earlier how it basically maxed out the air fuel gauge in certain areas. Now here you can see we went from 30 horsepower to 37 horsepower. So that's a 7 horsepower gain on a bike that only makes 65 horsepower to start with. That is huge. Now we've got this in time frames right now. The blue run is our first pull, and you can see how long it took to make the pull to make bait, and we were able to increase the acceleration by 1 second on the dyno, which is a big deal. But when we put it back in the same template or in a normal layout, you can see here we were gaining 1, 2, 3 horsepower across the board. And then down low again, of course, that's where we were gaining huge horsepower here. Bad news on the ECU Flash, I did not have the proper plug-in. So when I talked to this customer originally, I had looked it up and I looked up the wrong year. There's different ECUs on these bikes for different year models. So I had to order the plug-in. We're gonna postpone this video. We'll see you in 3, 2, 1. All right guys, we're back with the Ninja 650 project. You never left, but I did. It is a new day. We have removed the ECU from the back of the bike. This bike is super easy to get the ECU out of. It sits right here. There are 2 bolts you have to remove here. Take those 2 bolts out. The ECU just slides right out. And then I'm gonna show you a little bit about what we can do in the ECU with this bike. So one of the cool things we can do is lower the fan temp. So the fan is adjustable. We can drop the fan temps down, make the bike run a little cooler. And then in here we've got the secondary throttle plate opening. Okay, so the bike has 2 sets of what they call butterfly valves. One set works on the throttle, so when you give it gas, they open and close. The other set is computer controlled in the ECU, So as the bike speeds up, those butterfly valves slowly open up to like that, straight up and down, and then your bike is actually wide open. So you can see over here, this is our RPMs, 400, 800, 1,000, and so on. And then these are our throttle percentages. So you can see 100% throttle, 80% throttle, and so on. Well, you see the bike doesn't actually go wide open on the secondary throttle plates until 8,000 RPMs at 100% throttle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and control these things, and we're gonna open them up to 100% pretty much all the time. And it's like that in every gear. First gear is actually cut back a little more, but each gear, you know, cruising around, this thing is only 30% throttle. When you're just cruising, it's just cutting it back. And the reason the manufacturers do that kind of stuff is in order to keep the airbox quieter. So when they do emissions test and sound test on the bikes to see how loud they are, to see how much emissions they're putting out, they test all these things, and so they keep those things closed so there's less noise coming back through the airbox, basically restricting the power and restricting the emissions. We're gonna open all that up, change all that stuff, and get a little more power out of this thing. Stay with us, here we go. We just wrapped up the tuning on this Ninja 650. We pretty much did the majority, I'm gonna say all the tuning through the ECU. This thing really picked up nice gains. I'm super excited to show these to you, but I wanted to just go over the bike one more time. Delcovic slip on, and like I said, it does have the power commander, but we pretty much did all the tuning through the ECU. There was a lot of restriction in this thing and a lot of gains to be had. Okay, so first we got the blue line, which is what we came in with, and he came in with 62 horsepower. Well, you can see down here in the low range, after we've opened up the restrictions in the ECU, we went from 38 horsepower to 46 horsepower. That is a massive increase, huge gains. Here we went from 36 to 43. Up here in the higher RPMs, we went from 58 to 65. And then we went from 62 to 68 at peak. But we also were able to extend the rev limiter, and we got the bike to keep pulling on past, you know, where it used to redline at before from the factory. Now, once we got the thing tuned with the power commander, you can see we still had about 65 horsepower, but you can see here in the low range, we still picked up a ton of horsepower by flashing the ECU and getting the restrictions out of the ECU. So basically when he goes wide open, now the bike goes wide open. All right guys, if you have one of these Ninja 650s, feel free to contact us, moremafia.com. The ECU is super simple to pull out on this bike. Literally just remove these two bolts here, just kind of pull it back, and there's two plug-ins, just unplug those, mail it in, send it in to us, and we will get you fixed up with the ECU Flashed. But man, what massive gains for this bike right here. It's gonna be a night and day difference riding it on the road. Guys, if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 40,000 subscribers right now. I cannot believe it. We've only got like 200 more to go. Please help out, support the channel, click the bell for further notifications so as soon as we post a video next time, you don't miss a minute of it. All right, guys, smash that like button. See you next time.